There are two main differences between adjectives in English and adjectives in Spanish.
What's an adjective?
An adjective is a descriptive word, like the young children or the big house. In those cases, young and big are the adjectives, the describing words. Now in Spanish, adjectives generally follow the noun that they describe. So in that instance, the big house, in Spanish we'd write it, the house big. So that's one thing to get used to. The other thing to get used to is that adjectives have to agree in both gender and number. If you remember, we learned that nouns in Spanish have a gender and a number. And when we put adjectives with those nouns, we have to worry about what the gender and number of those nouns are. Let's look at some examples. We want to talk about el chico, los chicos, la chica, and las chicas. We want to describe them. They all happen to be tall. So we're going to use the adjective alto, which means tall. But we can't just throw alto in each of these spaces here, because we have to make sure that alto matches in number and gender with each of these nouns. So we have el chico. We have to ask ourselves first, is this masculine or feminine? Is el chico masculine or feminine?
I think it's masculine.
Now why do you think that?
Because it ends in an O.
Very good. And it also has el in front. So those two signs, ending in an O and the article is el, will tell us that the word is masculine. Next we have to decide if it is singular or plural. Do you think this is singular or plural?
I think it's singular.
Why do you think that?
Because it doesn't end in an S.
Very good. It does not end in an S, and again, our article is singular. Therefore, we choose the singular masculine form of the adjective, which in this case happens to be the word alto. So we don't change the adjective at all. In our next example, we have los chicos. First, is it masculine or feminine?
It's masculine.
Good. Again, ends in an O, and we have los, which is the masculine article. Is it singular or plural?
It's plural.
And how do we know that?
Because the noun is plural, ends in an S, and so is the definite article.
Very good.
Los.
So it ends in an S, and we have the definite article los is in the plural form, so we know that this is plural. We're talking about two boys here. So we're going to use the plural masculine form of the adjective, which in this case is altos. Same as this, but with an S at the end. Next we have la chica, masculine or feminine?
It's feminine.
Good, because it ends in an A. Singular or plural?
Singular.
Good, does not end in an S. So here we have to put in the feminine singular form of the adjective, which in this case is alta. When you have an adjective that ends in an O, to make it feminine, you change that O to an A like we did here. And our last example is las chicas. Feminine or masculine?
It's feminine.
Good. It ends in an A, and our article here is feminine. Singular or plural?
It's plural because it ends in an S.
Excellent. So we have to use here the feminine plural form, which in this case is altas. Any adjective ending in an O tends to follow this pattern. The masculine singular form is alto, masculine plural form is altos, feminine singular form is alta, feminine plural form is altas. There are some exceptions with some adjectives. We have the adjective here, grande, which means big. That ends in an E. This behaves a little bit differently. We have here el libro, the book. We want to say the big book. Remember, adjectives come after the noun, so we have to say the book big. Now again, el libro is singular masculine. Does not end in an S, the word ends in an O, so it's singular masculine. We're going to use the singular masculine form of the adjective, which is the same, grande. The standard form of the adjective, the form that you see in the dictionary, tends to be the singular masculine form. Next we have los libros. We see here that this is plural, more than one. It's masculine. It's an O here, and los is the masculine article. So we need the masculine plural form of this adjective, which is grandes. You just add an S, following the same pattern as before. But here we have la casa, the big house. We know that this is feminine, and it's also singular. We're just talking about one, doesn't end in an S. What's the feminine form of this adjective? The same, grande. When you have an adjective ending in an E, you don't have to worry about the gender of the noun. The only thing you have to look for is whether or not it's plural. So the singular masculine and the singular feminine forms are the same, grande. They both end in an E. The plural form, both masculine and feminine, grandes. We're going to look at one more example of adjectives here. This one ends in an N, joven, which means young. If you have the plural form here, los chicos, the way you make joven plural is by adding an ES. Jóvenes. Both the masculine and the feminine singular form is joven, just like this. The singular masculine and feminine form are the same. Same here. Singular feminine, singular masculine form is both joven. The plural masculine, plural feminine form in this case, jóvenes. We just have to change the way we make this plural by adding an E here because it ends in a consonant.
So you make this same plural, like the nouns, right?
Exactly. You make adjectives plural in the same manner that we learned how to make nouns plural.